Hi guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to crochet the cross treble stitch. So I built up a piece here. You can see that it's got these stitches throughout it that kind of look like X's. And because this pattern has triple or treble crochets involved, it builds up super fast, so it's a great stitch to use if you want to build up something quickly. I will mention that at the beginning of the tutorial, I kind of switch between saying triple and treble crochet because I know everybody calls it differently, but the stitch itself is made exactly the same way, no matter what you call it, and I show you exactly how to make it. But just keep that in mind. Sometimes I call it a triple crochet and sometimes I call it a treble crochet, but again, both made the exact same way. And if you would like to use the same materials that I used for the tutorial, I'll show you here. I used this Caron Blossom Cake, so you can see it's very nice yarn. I love it. It's a cotton acrylic mixed yarn and it's in the color Island Time. And I used a 5mm crochet hook, but you can use any size yarn that you would like and any hook size that you would like to build up this pattern. I'll take a moment and ask if you wouldn't mind subscribing to my channel. It's greatly appreciated. You could also like this video if you find this tutorial helpful, but otherwise we'll get into making the crossed treble stitch. So to get started, we're going to start with a slip knot on our hook. And we're going to chain any multiple of 4 plus 1. So you can build up a chain that's any length that you would like, as long as it's a multiple of 4. And then we're going to add 1 additional chain to it. So just for the purpose of the tutorial, I'm going to build up 21 chains. So 20 is a multiple of 4, and then I'm adding an additional chain for 21. So 1, 2, 3. All right, I have my chain of 21 here, and we're going to start by skipping the first 4 chains. And remember that loop on your hook doesn't count as anything, so we count back 1, 2, 3, and 4, and into that 5th chain, we're going to start doing a treble crochet, but we're not actually going to complete it. So we start by yarning over the hook 2 times into that 5th chain. We'll insert our hook, yarn over, and pull up a loop. And then we're going to yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops on our hook. And then we're going to skip 2 chains. So skip, and into that next chain, we're going to yarn over 1 time, go into that chain after the 2 skip chains, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then we're going to yarn over and pull through 2 loops at a time until we just have the 1 loop on our hook. So that will be a total of 4 times. So we yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops on our hook. That was 1 time. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops on our hook. That's 2. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops on our hook. That's 3. And yarn over and pull through those final 2 loops. That's 4. And you'll have something that looks like this. And from here, we're going to chain 2. So 1 and 2. And to complete that kind of X shape, we're going to do a double crochet about halfway down this stitch here. So we yarn over just 1 time, and coming down about halfway down the stitch, you'll see this strand of yarn that's going across here, and then also one right next to it. That's what we're going to do our double crochet into. So I've got those 2 loops on top of my hook. I'm going to yarn over, pull up a loop, and then just complete my double crochet like normal. So yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops on your hook, and yarn over and pull through those final 2 loops on your hook. And you can see we have our first X shape here. And this chain 4 that we skipped at the beginning, that's going to count as the first treble crochet of the row. So going on, we're going to jump to the very next chain, the one right after where this stitch is coming out of, and we're going to do the same thing we just did. So we're going to start our treble crochet into that next chain but not finish it. So again, we yarn over 2 times, jump to that very next chain, yarn over and pull up a loop, and yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops on our hook. And we stop at that point. I'll yarn over. I'm going to skip the next 2 chains, so skip, and into that next chain, we insert our hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, and we yarn over and pull through 2 loops at a time, 4 times total. So pull through those first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through those first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through the final 2 loops. So we have our stitch started. We'll chain 2, 1 and 2, and now we do our double crochet about halfway down this stitch. So again, we yarn over, go down about halfway. We have the strand of yarn coming this way and then the one right next to it. Those are the 2 loops that we get on top of our hook, and do our double crochet, just like normal. And we have our second crossed treble stitch. Again, I'll show you one more time. Into the very next chain, next to where this stitch is coming out of, we yarn over 2 times, go into that chain and start our treble, but we don't finish it, so we drop a loop, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops on our hook, and then we yarn over, skip the next 2 chains, and into the next chain, we pull up a loop, and we yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops on our hook 4 times. Pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops on your hook, that's 2, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops on your hook, that's 3, and yarn over and pull through those final 2 loops. You'll have what looks like this at this point. We chain 2, 1 and 2, and we do our double crochet about halfway down this stitch. So catching those 2 loops and completing our double crochet like normal. And I'm going to repeat that across until I have 1 chain at the very end of the row. All right, I've reached my final chain, so it's the chain right next to your final stitch there that looks like an X. You should have the 1 chain remaining, and we're going to do a triple crochet into the final chain. So to do that, we yarn over 2 times, go into that final chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then we yarn over and pull through 2 loops on your hook 3 times total. So that was the first, yarn over, pull through those first 2 loops on your hook, that's 2, and then yarn over and pull through the final 2 loops on your hook, and that was 3 times, and that's a triple crochet to end row 1. And going on to row 2, we're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to turn our work, and that chain 4 is going to count as a triple crochet. So it'll be a triple crochet in that first stitch. And then we're going to repeat what we did the row prior. So we're going to continue making these stitches that look like an X, and we're going to use the top stitches of the X from the row prior as our 2 points to build the stitch that looks like an X on this row. So we yarn over 2 times, go into that very next stitch, which is the top of this side of the X from the row prior, yarn over, pull up a loop, and yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops on your hook. And then we're going to yarn over 1 time, skip over those 2 chains or the center of the X from the row prior, jumping to that next stitch, which is the double crochet from the row prior, and completing our stitch here. So yarn over, pull up a loop, and then we yarn over and pull through 2 loops at a time, 4 times total. So there was 1, 2, 3, and 4. And again, we have something that looks like this. We do our chain 2 and we do our double crochet about halfway down this stitch. So catching those 2 loops that are about halfway down on our hook and completing our double crochet like normal. And there is our first cross treble stitch of row 2. So again, we're going to jump to the very next stitch and do the same thing again. So we yarn over 2 times into that next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops on your hook, yarn over 1 time, skip over those 2 chains or the center of the X from the previous row, jumping to that next stitch, which is the double crochet, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then we yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops on our hook 4 times until we just have the 1 loop remaining on our hook. Chain 2, 1 and 2, and do our double crochet about halfway down that stitch. And I'm going to repeat that across until I reach that chain 4. And when you reach the final chain 4 here, which counted as a triple or a treble crochet to start row 1, we're going to do a treble or a triple crochet into the top chain of that chain 4. We're going right into that 4th chain or the top chain and completing the stitch. And then we're going to chain 4, which will count as a triple or a treble crochet, and turn our work. From here, we're just going to keep repeating what we did for row 2. So we'll keep making these cross treble stitches using the top 2 stitches of the kind of X from the row prior as the points to build the X's on this row. And we'll work it across, and once you reach the chain 4 at the end of the row, we will do our treble or our triple crochet into the top chain of that chain 4, and then we chain 4, turn our work. So we're always finishing each row with a treble or a triple crochet, and then we're starting each row with that chain 4, which counts as a treble or a triple crochet. And you can build up this piece as big as you would like. And I hope you love whatever it is that you built up and you didn't have too much trouble with this stitch. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!